Well, it's finally time. The first time that I'll get to say this, if I ever get to say this again. Time for a review of my very first HASLAB-backed project. I've seen people make videos about how much they love their Death Saurus and their Wing Saber and how they're excited for Leo Kaiser coming up. And while, yes, they do look amazing, I don't really have, like, the strongest connection to Victory like other people do, which is fine. Like they're cool and they would look cool in my collection, but like I'm not gonna go out of my way to back a HASLAB project for them. If they were a leader class or a commander class figure, if they were around my area, then I would definitely try to get one in that way. But this one was something special. This one sunk its hooks in me and it did not let me go, even until this very moment. I even did my due diligence and research when preparing for this video. So, without further ado, let's finally talk about HASLAB Robots in Disguise Car Robots Omega Prime. But splitting them into their two equal halves is Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus. Let's start with my favorite Transformers character across every single continuity, Optimus Prime. Right off the bat, I gotta say, I genuinely love when Optimus Prime is a fire truck. Yes, he's very cool when he's just a normal truck. I also love it when they change it up every once in a while, but a fire truck actually feels like it has purpose on the road. It feels different, and I feel like it suits him really well. And this fire engine is absolutely gorgeous from every single angle of this truck. Even with the big super mode head back here, I still love it. There's no lights and sounds, and the doors do not open, but we don't need a gimmick for somebody to sit inside. No one can fit in there anyway, it's too flat. There's no Koji figure to go sit in this driver's seat. Not that I would want one anyway. But what we do have is a seat back here on the base of the ladder. And it's a perfect little seat for the added inclusion of Titan Master Cerebros. Yes, I know that his name is actually Emissary, but they mostly refer to him as just Cerebros in the show. I think they call him the Emissary one time, but doesn't matter. And he's just your standard little Titan Master, meaning that they can also sit in the seat. I'm not really sure what body would suit him the best, as I don't have the Titans Return, Fort Max, or Cerebro. But to me, it doesn't really matter. I'm really happy to have this little guy, and that they decided to throw him in at all. He wasn't a tier to unlock. He wasn't even on the official announcement when they made the campaign. He was just kind of chucked in during the making of all this. And I'm really glad that he was. Anyways, you can set him right in here. There's some pegs on the bottom so that way he'll stay right in there, nice and secure. Meaning that he can literally stay there throughout all the transformations. And I've done it a few times. Another thing I like that they kept from the original toy is that the gun can store right under here and that the red bits are still wheels that can help him roll. It's cute and functional. Before we move on to robot mode, I did just want to point out about the ladder here. As I showed off in the initial thoughts video, it can extend rather far out. The front here can lean down and it even has a little hole there for a bucket. You've got the two big water spouts that can flip out the side, and they're on ball joints. Not entirely sure why, but that just means that they have a good range of movement, so that way they can even point to things that are just down there. And also with the ladder, as you can see, you get these big flip-out missiles. There was a gimmick on the original toy, I think, that if you like did things in unison, then they would all fire off at the same time. But they don't have that here, but what they do have is little knobs at the top that shows that they are Blues compatible. Very nice inclusion. I'll probably not mess with this gimmick too much because, I don't know, there's a lot going on with this figure. I probably won't mess around with that gimmick too terribly much. Anyway, that's about it for the fire truck mode, so why don't we head over to his core robot mode.
Optimus Prime transform!
And here we are with the core robot mode, and he's very well done in my opinion. I've really grown to like this version of Optimus Prime so much. I used to only look at it just for the super mode, but over time, this part of him has really grown on me. Honestly, part of the stuff I really love is the head. It's sculpted very well. And he's also got these really nice shiny eyes. It's like they put the vac metal chrome on all of their eyes. The Optimus, the Super Mode, Ultra Magnus, and Omega Prime. Speaking of his head, you can adjust his little antennae here. They come like this out of the box, but I prefer having them back like this because that's where they sit in the show. And they can stay like that through the whole transformation. You don't have to move them to put them back. He does not have opening hands for this mode, which I suppose is fine, but would have definitely been very cool. I feel like it's something they could have pulled off, but what are you going to do? Still holds his gun very well. And I do love this mode, but there are a couple of nitpicks I have here and there. One of them being that his thighs are clearly in service for the combined modes.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
And it throws certain proportions off a little bit, and that kind of sucks. But honestly, I could forgive it. And I think it's something that we all need to work past on certain figures. Anyway, another nitpick I have is actually here on the chest. You see how these chest pieces seem like they could come together a little bit more and like clip into those like slot pieces there? They can't. And I've thought this for a while, like, oh, maybe it's mistransformed every time they show the figure off. It's not. These chest panels are attached to the arm pieces, so when you activate the butterfly joint or use a transformation, they come with it. It does give his chest a little bit more depth in the pectoral area, rather than it just being flat like the original model, but the original model also had them closer together. It's not awful, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. The last nitpick I really have that also is very unfortunate is that this light bar piece comes off very easily. This one stays on rather fine, but this one really likes to pop off. But enough of that. Now the rest of the truck mode can actually come apart and make themselves into a little base type thing, but I've never really been the biggest fan of it, even if they do use it in the show. Maybe that should detract from the fact that I spent quite a bit of money on this set, that I'm not using one of the features that it has, but honestly, I still feel very happy and fulfilled with everything. One thing I do like is that you can take the feet off the back of the truck and make them into these gigantic missile pods on his shoulders. That's funny. Now, before we move on to anything else, we need to have a very serious conversation. There have been multiple cases from people all over since they got their Optimus Prime of people messing with him and noticing that he is cracked on the abs horrifically. This is due to an issue with the internals. This gray bar on the armature it's attached to is the main culprit. There's essentially not enough room for it to like move about when you're doing the transformations. Now, there is a fix for it, which I highly recommend people do. But so many people have already shown that they're not only having issues with cracking, not just on the first transformation, but immediately when they get him out of the box. Now, I will say I am one of the lucky ones that has not had any visible cracking on the abdomen for my Prime. And this is coming from many instances of play with this figure, even in just instances of just doing this, pulling the torso up and down, just like this. I mostly hold it from the sides here and pull down the waist, and I do this. But again, the key word is visible. Nevertheless, I did end up doing the fix. The slider in here moves a lot more freely, and I hope that this really helps in the long run. However, upon opening my Optimus Prime and doing this fix, it is here that I discovered things. While I am lucky that my Optimus does not have visible cracking, on the inside there was a rather decently sized crack on the back of the abs. As well as there's also like a tooth piece that's supposed to like help with it that's just broken. I don't know what happened, and I do hope that Hasbro is doing something to fix this. Me personally, like I said, I don't have visible cracking, so I can honestly live with this. But it's not a great situation. So this is where we are. I still love this set so incredibly much. I'm just so sad and angry for the people who had bad cracking issues just opening him. It's not fair, and I hope that things get fixed. And if you have this set, doing the fix and opening him up is completely up to you. Please, just handle this figure with care and be mindful. Anyway, now that the serious and scary part has been put out of the way, how about we raise our spirits back up and put this guy in his battle mode.
Optimus Prime, transform! Battle mode!
Now this is a super mode. Look at this beautiful figure here before you. It's insane. It's wonderful. And I love this so much. This I can't stop playing with this figure. Legitimately, I can't stop. For several days, I have just been playing with this figure, switching him from his truck mode to robot mode to super mode, because I love playing with this figure. And it's so much fun, and it's so satisfying seeing him get to this mode. And he's so big! It's so nice! He's wonderful all around. Now, yes, he does have this gigantic ladder on his back, and while it does kind of help keep him stable, it's not very necessary. Plus, you can flip it over his shoulder like this, flip out these forward cannons, and it can hit the Predacons with a Blizzard Blast. And this figure is wildly posable too. He's got a lot of detents in his waist, in his knees. They worked in a nice ankle tilt for boots that go over his normal feet. That's incredible. These side guns on his arms can also rotate and bend. And here's where we've got the nice opening hands. It's unfortunately just down here at the knuckle and with a movable thumb, but hey, it's something. Yeah, this is the good shit. This is the type of shit that I'm here for. One other thing that I know some people say is that his neck is really long, and that's if you have it fully extended out. Which, yes, you can do, but to make it look better, just shrink it back down. Looks a lot better. It does not hinder the wobbliness of the noggin at all. And every piece of his super mode bits are on there nice and solid. These pieces are not going to let go until you want them to let go. Something else that I'm really glad that is here is that you can open up this panel right here and it has his matrix. It does look very good in there, but it's also removable. So you can see the nice details in there behind it, as well as get a good look at it right here. Come on, focus camera. There we go. Yeah. I love this figure so much. And while I do have a lot of love for the core Optimus, the super mode here takes the cake. Moving on to the second commander in this set, we have Ultra Magnus. Now, this is an Ultra Magnus that's a lot different from the Ultra Magnus that we know and love. But we've seen characters change in all its different continuities to fit the story better. So instead of being that stoic commander that we're all used to, he is now a jealous brother to Optimus who wanted command and tries to take it for himself. This truck mode is beautiful from all angles. I love it so much, and I can't get enough of the Vacmel chrome at the front here. Plus, you can tell how much people really love this truck design with the homage that they paid for it with the Siege Ultra Magnus. And people love that figure, I think. But this truck is honestly incredibly nice. And it is long as Optimus Prime's fire truck mode. And since it's a car carrier truck, it can do the thing that it is the name of that it does. So if you have, say, Legacy Sideburn, Magnus can carry him. Or if you're like me, you have the same mold as Shadow Striker, as well as a custom Sideburn that you made out of a Hot Rod figure that pays homage to the Botcon figure. You can do that. All you have to do is just slide the figure inside there to hold it inside, plop a Deluxe or a Voyager class figure on top here, and yeah, he can carry him. Now, you could for sure have one on the front here as well, but in case you only have two figures, you can stick Ultra Magnus' giant gun up front. Because who doesn't want their car carrier to be armed? Taking a look at the gun more closely, it does a lot more than it could back in 2001. Because you see, dear viewer, Hasbro decided to take their modern day sensibilities that they've added to multiple other Titans with just random vehicle accessories like Brunt or Slammer. And because of that, we now not only have a new weaponizer, but a new cast member to the 2001 Car Robots cast. Blue Bolts here is here to add another level of fun factor to this set, and it sure does. Instead of just splitting into multiple different various guns for Ultra Magnus to use, she now has her own robot mode. And I love that for her. You can definitely see she very well fits in with the other weaponizers. As well as not too shabby with the other robots in Sky's class. I feel like her and Ty could definitely get into some sassy conversations. Anyway, there's not really much else to talk about with Ultra Magnus' car mode, so why don't we head over to his robot mode.
Ultra Magnus, transform!
And here we have Ultra Magnus' robot mode, and I really like it. As you can see, he is a lot of legs. They do go all the way up. But they were really long on his original toy, and they have to work for all the gimmicks to work, so again, I can give this a pass. Plus, he is still wildly posable, and comes with very good ankle tilts on him as well. As well as he has the nice opening hands with the posable thumb. We'll come back to these in just a little bit. His arms can seem a little stumpy, but I feel like that's more the legs' faults rather than the arms. But the arms, unfortunately, do have a very weird shape, so he'll never really be able to cross his arms ever. He can hold blue bolts in many different ways, but he's honestly doing very strong on his own. And as a team, these two look very nice. Coming around the back here, he also has some very sick thrusters here, so that way he can fly. But But you can also see that his legs are very, very hollow. And he's also quite hollow inside his chest there as well. But fret not there, dear viewer, because this is another job that Blue Bolt can fix. You just split her up into her many different ways, and she can actually fill out not only the back of the legs, but inside the torso as well. And you'd literally never know that she was in there. Me personally, I love having her out, and the hollowness on him doesn't really bother me that much. But if it bothers you and you don't want to have a nice little new figure, you can use her to fill out the extra joints or just be a weapon, and it still works perfectly fine. It's completely up to you if you have this set. Now we need to have another slight serious talk, not as serious as the one with Optimus, but it still needs to be addressed. Ultra Magnus has also come with his own reports of QC issues. The issues on him are just that some pieces on him are yellowing. And this is something I will say has happened on mine as well. You can see that there are bits that are a slightly different color than other pieces, but this is something I can honestly say that I can live with. A yellowing issue as opposed to a completely broken toy, that's perfectly fine in my opinion. Anyway, another really cool thing that Hasbro and Takara decided to include with this is that Ultra Magnus gets his own little matrix in his chest. This is because in the show, after Ultra Magnus does a forced fusion into Omega Prime with Optimus, he begins to seem like he has powers of his own that enhances the Autobot trio into like enhanced battle modes. He begs the question of Optimus and him sharing the matrix, but they never really go anywhere with it. And I'm kind of glad that they show that he does actually have his own matrix, so that way they share command of the Autobots. They're stronger together, as Autobots always are. And because of a feature that they included with both of his hands, working together properly can begin with just the shake of hands, as brothers.
Ultimate Energy Combiner! Omega Prime!
And here we come to the combination of these two, Omega Prime. Two Commander class toys that come together to form this behemoth. This thing seizes your attention no matter what. This thing looks incredible. From the moment that he was revealed, constantly just looking at this combination, I knew I needed to bring these two into my collection. And that was clearly the right decision. From head to toe, it looks spectacular. And he still poses very good as well as having a second knuckle joint on his fingers, so that way he can close his fists properly. Still very good articulation in his legs. And again, big ankle joints right down here for his big feet. None of these modes need a stand to go with them to stand up. They are perfectly stable on their own. But you get some stand pieces anyway. Now you actually get two road pieces that you can connect on the bottom to make just one long giant road. This is supposed to look like the space bridge that they use, and I love that. It's better than just having a stand that just is a stand. It's nice to actually have one that's kind of a prop almost. But you can take them apart and use them as two separate stand pieces, or you can just take the stands off and use it as the road. Now these stands work with the Super Mode and with Ultra Magnus. You actually get this second stand piece so that way it can work with Ultra Magnus, but you don't need it for Omega Prime. All you do is you just search back here for the big port in his butt, and you just stick it right on in. Again, he does not need the base to stand. However, if you wanted to get him in some flying poses, you absolutely can do so. And again, that thing is on there. He is stable and not coming off. I've actually heard for the Omega Prime mode that you can actually take all of the extra pieces that you left behind for Optimus' Super Mode and somehow get them on here. I don't know how, and quite frankly, I'm not very interested. What I am interested in is in the tier number 2 that we got, because this all got funded rather quickly. The first tier were these two stand pieces. The second was the weapon that Omega Prime uses against Galvatron at the very end of the series, the Matrix Blade. And this thing is big. Like, next to the Omega Prime, the hilt comes up to the shoulders and the blade just extends further. In package, the handle is taken apart, but you can make it as long or short as you would like. I like just kind of leaving it as one big piece. And then you have these pieces right here in his hand that go right in here. Not very easy to put it in his hand, in my opinion, or maybe that's just my copy. But once you get it in, you just clamp his fist around it, and he's got his big old weapon. And that looks very cool, having him duel with it like that. Oh, that's sick. That's powerful. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Now, you can take Blue Bolt and throw her into her weapon mode and just attach her right at the top up here. And now he is incredibly armed. There's nothing that can stop this guy. This set is spectacular, and I'm not afraid to say that. Even with the QC issues, I'm still having an immense amount of fun with these figures. Even just having a new Titan Master that's included in the set for no reason is just so much fun. Having a new Weaponizer figure that adds to the cast and adds to the collection is so much fun, just because they took a big weapon and added today's sensibilities to it. Having a new Optimus Prime, one that I didn't have before, that can combine with another character into this impressive display, is amazing. Even with the few nitpicks that he has, it doesn't drag it down. Even with the QC issues that Optimus has, this set is still so much fun. I can't stop playing with it, and I'm absolutely in love with it. Am I going to back another HASLAB project? I don't know. We'll just have to see what comes in the future. But this set has made me feel so much immense joy. I feel like a kid again, just playing with my Optimus Prime toy that I didn't want to leave behind, that I don't want to put down, and I want to keep playing with. And I'm very glad to have them. And I think that's all I can really say on these figures. For now, that is it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. I've been 01 Transfan, the #1, and I'll talk to you all next time. Take it easy, guys.